The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of April 7, 2025 have been released. Fans can expect Tracy Abbott to demand answers from Alan Laurent/Martin Laurent. Summer Newman gives Chance Chancellor closure. Meanwhile, Victoria Newman tries not to repeat past mistakes. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Tracy was swooning over her engagement news until she spoke to Sharon Newman. Sharon unknowingly tipped off Tracy to the fact that Alan/Martin might have been the double kidnapper. Tracy didn't want to alarm Sharon, but did confide in Jack Abbott as well as Chance. When Alan/Martin suddenly bursts through the door, Tracy will put on a smile and a brave face. Then Tracy is going to question Alan/Martin about her suspicions. That could put her in grave danger, though. It is also teased that Tracy places a distress call. Speaking of the double kidnapper, Sharon and Phyllis Summers learn new information about their kidnapper. Chance tells them the kidnapper is connected to a psychiatric clinic in Paris, the same city where Alan sent Ashley Abbott for dissociative identity disorder. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Ashley returns home to chaos. In a preview clip, Jack suggests to a stunned Ashley that Alan might not have been the twin who survived that fall in Paris. After taking in all the new information from Chance, Phyllis and Sharon form a shocking alliance. The two will want justice, but could they decide not to wait for the justice system? Fans will also see Chance get closure with Summer. That sounds like an official breakup, and giving Summer a reason to go after Kyle Abbott even harder. Speaking of Kyle, Victor Newman is determined to punish him. That leads to Audra Charles getting a tempting offer. Even though Audra initially rejects Victor's proposition, she later is tempted. It's not clear if Audra is tempted by Victor's offer, or if this is about something else. In any case, Audra is overdue for a juicy, meaty storyline. Over with Victoria, she tries to learn from past mistakes. Could this have to do with Victor and Claire Grace Newman, or perhaps Billy Abbott? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Monday, April 7, reveals that Phyllis Summers will consider a wild suspect, while Nick Newman has a London surprise delights Sharon Newman. Here's what Vi and our fans can look forward to in Monday's exciting episode. At the Jazz Lounge, Victor Newman will meet with Audra Charles and wonder if she'd like to get payback on Kyle Abbott for undermining her at Glissade. After Victor proposes a deal, he'll suggest that Audra can name her dream job and have it by running the division of her choosing. Victor will hint about wanting Audra to seduce Kyle, so she'll almost storm out in response. That'll lead to Victor admitting he's not serious about a Kyle seduction plot. All Victor will want is to expose Kyle for the weak, treacherous man that he is. Victor will seek Audra's assistance to highlight that, which would obviously get in the way of Kyle and Claire Newman's romance. Nate Hastings will get suspicious when he shows up to find Audra and Victor's meeting in progress. Once Audra tells Victor that she'll mull over what they discussed, Nate will question her about what's going on. At Society, Kyle will dodge Claire's attempt to discuss his problem-solving session with Jack Abbott, so that'll raise red flags. Claire will want to know if Kyle and Jack's solution involved handling Victor, but Kyle will deny it. Kyle will insist that an employee stirred up suspicion and will hint about other employees possibly being part of the corporate espionage. However, Kyle will act like they don't know who's behind it yet, and will urge Claire to stop making assumptions about Victor. In the end, Kyle will convince Claire they should focus on themselves, so they'll make some blissful predictions about the rest of their evening. When Summer Nguyen arrives, she'll burn with jealousy as she interacts with the happy couple. Summer will glare at Claire and Kyle as they leave, so it'll be obvious that she's struggling to cope. At Sharon's house, she'll be tickled pink when Nick shows up and announces that he's coming to London after all. Sharon will have her bags packed and ready ahead of her flight with Faith Newman, but Nick will insist he's arranged for the Newman jet to take them to see Noah Newman. Chance Chancellor will ask Phyllis to meet him at Sharon's place, since he'll have updates on some news regarding their kidnapper. The apparatus used to expel the gas was bought by someone using an account connected to a Paris psychiatric clinic. That'll lead to Phyllis and Sharon remembering that Ashley Abbott was treated in a clinic outside Paris as well. Since Alan Laurent arranged all that, his name will be mentioned during this discussion. Nick will see Chance react to that and sense that there are some suspicions surrounding Alan, but Chance won't admit much of anything yet. Once Chance is gone, Phyllis will have a hard time buying Alan was behind the kidnapping and will suggest unstable Ashley could have plotted it instead. Considering Ashley's history of mental illness and her recent breakdown, Phyllis wouldn't put the double abduction past her. After Sharon reflects on Tracy Abbott's strange behavior recently, Nick will go back to Chance's earlier Alan reaction and think there could be something to it. Although Nick and Sharon were supposed to take that family vacation in London, Phyllis will think maybe they should change their plans and stick around Genoa City. At Society, Chance will push Summer to be honest about her jealousy when it comes to Kyle's current relationship. Despite Summer's initial denial, she'll finally have a major outburst and confess that she hates the fact that Kyle is with Claire. As Summer goes on a Claire-related tirade, she'll act like she was supposed to live happily ever after with Kyle. Summer won't be over losing her ex-husband, so she'll finally get honest about that. Chance will hint that their own romance isn't fair to either of them, so Summer will wonder what happens next, though it'll seem like she already knows deep down. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Summer and Chance clearly don't have a future anymore, so they'll need to head down separate paths. We'll have other fantastic Young and the Restless spoilers, updates and news, so visit us often for the latest Y and R info. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, April 7 to April 18, reveals that Victor Newman will vow to ruin Kyle Abbott, while Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers plot a bold move. Summer Newman will also face a painful truth, so let's start with her and what's happening during the week of April 7 to 11. Chance Chancellor can see that Summer is still stuck on her ex, so he'll finally get her to admit she's not over Kyle. Summer will release all the anger she's been bottling up, so she'll rant about Kyle's relationship with Claire and how much she wishes her cousin were out of the picture. Chance will suggest his own romance with Summer isn't fair to either of them, so they may settle on a more permanent breakup this time around. Of course, Chance's personal life won't be the only source of drama in the coming episodes. We'll also see Detective Chancellor uncover some important clues in the kidnapper investigation. After Nick Newman agrees to visit London with Sharon and Faith Newman, their flight plan may get delayed. That's because Sharon and Phyllis will have more pressing matters to deal with in Genoa City. After a financial transaction at a Paris psychiatric clinic leads to more Alan Laurent, aka Martin Laurent suspicions, Chance will keep following the trail and may come up with some Martin proof eventually. While Chance unravels another layer to the mystery, Tracy Abbott will try to sound the alarm, presumably to Jack Abbott after Alan comes home. However, some twists and turns are ahead in this story. Tracy's life could be on the line after she launches a confrontation with Alan, aka Martin, and works to score the truth. Since Ashley Abbott is about to return from Paris as well, she'll become part of this storyline when Jack presents the twin switch theory. Ashley will ultimately realize it could be true and freak out over the danger Tracy could be in. Back with Sharon and Phyllis, Y&R spoilers say their alliance will take center stage. Phyllis and Sharon will plot a bold move, so they may be on the verge of pitching in with Tracy's rescue. As for Victor, he'll make a determined prediction about ruining Kyle. Victor will promise that punishment is headed Kyle's way, and we all know Victor is a man who tends to keep his promises. Audra Charles will also have to mull over Victor's lucrative business offer and decide whether she's willing to take Kyle down to get the perfect job. During the week of April 14 to 18, Audra should make her official decision. Will Audra go all in on helping Victor and perhaps doom her relationship with Nate Hastings in the process? This could lead to Audra crossing some lines she didn't mean to cross, so targeting Kyle could end in disaster. Of course, Audra and Victor's plan could also lead to horrible news for Kyle and Claire Newman's relationship, though Kyle's own lies could be a big factor in turning Claire against him too. As for Martin, what will his fate be after his true identity is exposed? Sharon and Phyllis will hopefully have a chance to confront their kidnapper, but will Martin get arrested or perhaps suffer a grim fate if it all goes wrong? The Young and the Restless spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some wild moments, so stay tuned for updates on all the curveballs ahead. Something felt off on the April 4 episode of Young and the Restless, and no, it wasn't just the vibes at GCAC. While Diane was doing her best to comfort a clearly shaken Tracy, something eerily symbolic hung in the air. The kind of uh-oh moment soaps love to plant when a storm's about to hit. And with all signs pointing to Alan maybe being Martin, you have to wonder, were Tracy's worries about making Diane a target more than just momentary panic? Was this foreshadowing? Let's not forget that Martin's got a pattern. He's obsessed with women who've made their fair share of enemies and questionable choices. Diane fits that bill perfectly. She's reformed, sure, but only after being presumed dead and dragging half the town through emotional whiplash. If Martin is lurking under the Alan disguise, maybe he's ready to correct one more woman who refuses to admit she's still got baggage. Let's have some fun with this. Imagine Martin abducts Diane and one of her oldest foes, Phyllis, Ashley, Nikki, take your pick, and locks them in a room demanding they forgive each other, or else. Would Diane and her enemy fare as well as Phyllis and Sharon did? Oh, probably not. Even more intense, Martin could go after the Diane-Kyle bond, thinking he's helping heal a mother-son relationship he sees as fractured. Except in true deranged villain fashion, his therapy methods come with a blindfold, zip ties, and a ticking clock. That April 4 scene between Tracy and Jack might not just be about protecting her. It could be the writers warning us that someone else, someone unsuspecting like Diane, is actually next. What if he isolates Diane entirely, forcing her to relive her misdeeds and try to atone while being psychologically tormented? That would be so very Martin. She could be forced to look in the mirror and truly sit with her past. Would she come out of that room a very different person? And yes, we can't rule out the darkest theory of them all. What if Diane stumbles too close to the truth and gets silenced for it? If that happens, April 4 may go down as the moment of warning before everything in the Abbott family changes forever once again. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that there are 3 reasons why Kyle Abbott and Audra Charles might surrender to bedroom temptation. Is a scandalous affair brewing on the CBS soap? In the April 7 episode, Victor Newman will give Audra a nudge toward getting payback on Kyle. In exchange, Victor will offer to let Audra run a division of Newman Enterprises. Audra can basically pick whatever dream job she has in mind, so there's definitely a reward in this for her. It's just a matter of whether Audra is willing to trust Victor and do what he expects her to do. It's worth mentioning that Audra will nearly stomp off when Victor hints about her luring Kyle back into an affair. Audra won't be down for seducing Kyle, but Victor will basically act like he was kidding and suggest he just wants to prove Kyle's true colors. However, Y and R spoilers suggest this whole arrangement could spell trouble. Despite Audra's attempt to shut down any seduction schemes, she might change her mind once she's in Kyle's orbit again. There are at least 3 reasons why Kyle and Audra might surrender to bedroom temptation in the end. Let's talk about how Audra and Kyle could wind up letting passion erupt. 1. Strained relationships push Kyle and Audra together. Kyle is already facing some problems with Claire Newman due to Victor's disapproval and Summer Newman's jealousy. Things are only going to get worse in the coming weeks, so some blow-ups could leave Claire and Kyle's romance hanging by a thread. Likewise, Audra may face some issues with Nate Hastings due to her potential deal with Victor and some additional Holden Novak drama that's coming up. It's easy to see the potential for Nate's fury to push Audra toward Kyle, while Claire's anger pushes Kyle toward Audra. Kyle and Audra could find themselves seeking some relief in bed together as a result. 2. Audra and Kyle's familiar spark rate nights. Of course, if Kyle and Audra do hit the sheets, it may be about more than just comfort and relief outside of their relationships. Audra and Kyle had a real spark when they were seeing each other, so that spark may reignite and leave them unable to resist temptation. 3. Victor's manipulation pays off. Victor is a master manipulator, so he tends to get what he wants eventually. By recruiting Audra like this, he may anticipate that she'll ultimately land back in bed with Kyle, no matter how much she might protest that it's off the table. Victor may think introducing Audra to Kyle's world again will be enough to tempt them both into sizzling. Naturally, Victor might pull a few more strings along the way to ensure that it happens. So his involvement could be another reason why Kyle and Audra might revive their passion. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will make more predictions about ending Claire and Kyle's romance for good, so stay tuned for updates on whether Audra will lead to news of a split. Is where you want to be for scorching Young and the Restless spoilers, news and updates, so make us your favorite Y and our hotspot. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Victor Newman takes advantage whenever possible. That's precisely what happened when Audra Charles happened upon him at Crimson Lights. They hadn't planned the meeting and had barely seen each other since Glissade. Viewers recall Victor using Audra to secure the company Tucker McCall formerly owned. Victor also used Kyle Abbott during that period, but in a different way. Kyle worked himself into despising his parents in the recent past. He felt Diane Jenkins Abbott wasn't fit to co-head Abbott with his father, Jack Abbott. Victor exploited the Abbott's angst and easily convinced Kyle to work for him and against his family. The backstory of Glissade is convoluted. This company was introduced, sold, and then disassembled within months. Devoted fans recall that Tucker wanted Ashley to leave Abbott, citing Jack's disrespect. She was initially open to the idea, but then their marriage fell apart due, in most part, to the mental health issues she was suffering. Audra was working for Tucker at the time, but was also aiding Victor. The mustache had Audra force Tucker to sell the company, which she and Kyle ran for a short time. Victor got what he wanted, discarded Audra and Kyle, and sold off pieces of the company, which Jack secretly purchased for pennies on the daytime dollar. Victor has been using another mole, as the audience recently learned. Michael Baldwin served as the information source. His update meeting with Victor revealed that Matheson is a mole inside Abbott. Kyle believes that Matheson is working for Victor. He based that on the executive's questions about Abbott's business plans. Kyle recalled seeking the same information while working with Victor and against Abbott. It appears that Victor either purposely left Matheson in one of Glissade's business pieces so that he could become a mole, or Michael paid him to become that more recently. Audra is again bending to her darker impulses. She fell for Kyle during the period when they were colluding with Victor. It appeared as though Audra developed feelings for Kyle, and that is the reason why she is seeking payback. Victor recognizes that Audra's dysfunctional goal is one he can use to further his latest scheme. So he hopes she can target Kyle as part of a plan to destabilize Abbott and potentially split him from Claire Newman. Kyle is agitated by Victor's smug certainty, believing the Abbotts and Abbott will face coming doom. Audra calculates that her second connection with Victor won't cause her collateral damage as the first flawed association did. This site is a leading source for everything linked to the young and the restless. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. The young and the restless spoilers and updates tease love is in the air, and Lily Winter's secret admirer is set to be unveiled, providing a fresh opportunity for romance. A new character, or is he, will take a cunning approach to win Lily's heart, promising to add some excitement to the story. Lily has been single since her split from Daniel Romalotti Jr., but many fans are excited about the possibility of her re-entering the dating scene. Romantic plots are a central theme in soap operas, and Lily certainly deserves a new love story that could lead her to happiness. Recently, she has been prioritizing her career and family, leaving little room for romance. This is particularly true given the ongoing drama involving Aristotle Dumas and Damian Kane that has kept her occupied. However, things might be about to change as a storyline featuring a mysterious admirer begins to unfold for Lily. In fact, it may already be in motion. Viewers may remember that when Damian first arrived in Genoa City, he was instantly smitten with Lily. His flirtatious advances, repeated dinner invitations, and that quirky romantic quiz he gave her clearly showed his interest. It would feel odd for the show to suddenly forget all of that, so let's explore the possibilities. Once Damian reconciles his frustration regarding Lily's ongoing inquiries, he could adopt a more discreet strategy to capture her heart. Rather than being overt in his pursuit, as he once was, Damian may opt for a more nuanced and captivating approach. Damian might try to captivate Lily's interest by introducing an air of mystery and surprising her with gifts accompanied by romantic riddles. However, it's equally plausible that he has never had genuine romantic feelings for her, at least not for his own sake. The individual behind the Aristotle Dumas persona could have instructed Damian to connect with Lily to gather insights about her romantic situation. It's possible that Damian has simply been following his superior's directives. There's ongoing speculation that Kane Ashby could be the mastermind behind this entire Aristotle scheme. If that's true, it's possible that Kane could be the secret admirer. Could Lily's ex-husband be yearning for her return and devising an intricate plan to win her back? Kane might be orchestrating a reunion and harboring optimistic thoughts about starting a new chapter with Lily. Of course, we must also entertain the idea that a completely new character could be the one chasing after Lily. With Billy Flynn joining Y&R in an undisclosed role, his character might just be another potential secret admirer of Lily. Regardless of who is orchestrating this romantic intrigue, upcoming spoilers indicate that Lily will receive some surprising news in the weeks ahead. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y&R right now. Things may be heating up in Genoa City as Sharon considers jumping back into the dating pool. But could Nick Newman's cool exterior start to crack if she truly moves on? Sharon might start dating again at some point. Could Nick Newman's anger finally start to show? Nick has a sixth sense when it comes to Sharon, so he knew she felt more than just friendly feelings for him. Nick doesn't want to risk their friendship because he thinks a love reunion might not work out. Sharon and Nick recently talked about their feelings. Sharon may try to let go of any hopes of getting back together with Nick, since he basically turned her down. Sharon may decide that she needs to move on, and what better way to do that than to start dating again? Fans of Y&R know that Esther has used a dating app before, so she may tell Sharon to try it and see if there is someone out there who is right for her. Other than that, Sharon might meet a hot stranger in town. or someone she knows could set her up on a blind date. No matter what, Nick might not want to see Sharon with someone else. Nick might see Sharon trying to find someone else and decide that he doesn't like that at all. Nick could show his protective side as well as his jealous side. We could see Nick not liking Sharon's new boyfriend or even trying to get him to stay away from her. After that, Nick might finally understand that he wants to see Sharon again and accept that he's meant to be with her. In the worst case, Nick and Sharon might get together for a hot hookup. In a recent interview with Woman's World, Joshua Morrow said that Sharon would be Nick's next movie partner. Nick and Sharon might end up in bed together while they try to figure things out if that turns out to be true. In the meantime, Nick's anger could get out of hand if Sharon moves on with another hot guy on canvas. Sharon's love life could bring her some exciting news, so stay tuned to find out what's taking place. Victor aims for Kyle. Audra must make a difficult decision, and Ashley arrives to find more mayhem in Genoa City. Secrets are poised to surface as Summer and Chance work through their emotions. In the past, Kyle irritated Victor by flaunting his relationship with Claire, but Claire begged him to be understanding for the sake of her grandfather. As Victor proceeded to make fun of the Abbotts and allude to his future plans with Audra, Esther urged them to say, "I love you." Lily started to suspect that Aristotle was responsible for the lies when she started to doubt Victor's statements regarding Damien. Tension with Nate resulted from Lily and Devon's lack of complete faith in both Damien and Aristotle. Tracy told Jack about Alan's call at the Genoa City Athletic Club that made her cry because she was afraid he might be his evil twin, Martin. Victor chooses a new target and devises a new strategy in his struggle for dominance at the start of the week on The Young and the Restless. In the meantime, Phyllis and Sharon find out unsettling details about Alan. They are more driven than ever to obtain justice after hearing the news. Chance and Summer finally find emotional closure across town, bringing their chapter to a melancholy conclusion. Ashley's return to Genoa City exacerbates the already tense familial dynamic. Meanwhile, Sharon and Phyllis form a team to pursue Alan. The Abbott family becomes terrified that something is amiss when Tracy makes an unexpected, anxious phone call. On The Young and the Restless, Jack and Ashley start to worry more about Tracy in the middle of the week, and it's okay for them too. Chance finds something startling that has the power to alter everything. Alan's lies start to unravel as the truth becomes apparent, with unanticipated repercussions. Tracy confronts Alan and is unfazed by his deceptive tactics. Although it's a bold step, it demonstrates her willingness to stand up for what's right. In the meantime, Phyllis and Sharon, who have become stronger since being abducted, choose to cooperate. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal a gripping mystery surrounding Aristotle Dumas, a name shrouded in deception and betrayal. Initially thought to be a monstrous force, Aristotle Dumas turns out to be an alias for a more complex plot orchestrated by Ray Rosales. Aristotle Dumas, a pseudonym, is not a beast, but a cover for Ray Rosales, a character once thought dead. Ray's return from the dead was a ruse staged by his family to protect him from the emotional toll of his past, especially his relationship with Sharon. After returning to Miami, Ray adopts a darker, villainous persona, signaling his transformation from a former police officer to a source of chaos and retribution. The shock discovery that Ray is behind the mystery of Aristotle Dumas disrupts the narrative, showing betrayal by a character Victor once trusted. Ray's transformation is further complicated by his interactions with other characters like Shah, who manipulates him for her amusement, and Lola, his sister, whose bitterness drives her to seek revenge. Ray's dark journey raises questions about family loyalty, betrayal, and the blurred lines between heroes and villains. The name Aristotle Dumas evokes wisdom and mystery, masking Ray's malevolent intentions and his pursuit of power. Conclusion: The saga highlights the unpredictability of human nature and relationships. Ray's journey from hero to villain challenges the audience's perception of good versus evil, forcing them to question who might be hiding their true selves behind a mask of mystery, like Aristotle Dumas. As the story unfolds, it delves into themes of transformation, betrayal, and the impact of past choices, making it a captivating exploration of the darkness within us all. Lily finds herself caught between two conflicting sources of information. Victor tells her Damian Kane can't be trusted and claims his own intel is the truth. Damian, however, says Victor is manipulating her and that the real deceiver is Victor himself. Lily is forced to question, who's telling the truth? Who's using her? Victor insists he's always been honest with Lily. He warns her not to trust Aristotle Dumas or his people, claiming they're spreading lies. But Victor's history of manipulation raises doubts. Has he really changed? Damian backs an anonymous source, suggesting they're being honest. This mystery figure could either expose hidden truths or be another player in a dangerous game. Lily is torn between trusting a known manipulator or an unknown voice. Victor may be using Lily to draw out Aristotle Dumas, a shadowy figure with shady ties. His ultimate goal: regain dominance in Genoa City's criminal and corporate underworld. Another subplot suggests Tucker McCall may actually be operating under a secret identity, Aristotle himself. Audra Charles receives a surprise invitation, but from whom? Possibility 1, ex-lover Holden Novak. Possibility 2, Damian Kane's powerful boss. Each option brings emotional baggage or dangerous consequences. Damian, meanwhile, is upset Audra asked Holden about him, adding more tension. Everyone has an agenda. Every truth has a twist. Victor wants control. Damian wants trust. Audra wants answers. Genoa City thrives on secrets, power plays, and shifting alliances. Is Tucker McCall secretly Aristotle? Can Lily or Audra trust anyone? Will Victor finally expose the puppet masters, or is he one himself? Lily must choose: follow Victor's possibly manipulative truth, or embrace a riskier, unknown path. Audra must decide: reconnect with the past, or dive deeper into a present tangled with danger. These choices will send shockwaves through Genoa City, changing relationships, alliances, and power forever. A missing lead actress is finally resurfacing on The Young and the Restless. Check out which one, as well if any other popular performers from yesteryear or newcomers are joining the soap in contract, recurring, or day player roles. And find out if any of your favorite actors or actresses are exiting the CBS drama. After being off the canvas for months, Eileen Davidson is finally back on the Genoa City scene as Ashley Abbott. Look for the character to make her first appearance on Tuesday, April 8. She'll share scenes with her TV brother, Peter Bergman's Jack. Beth Maitland gets more airtime as Tracy Abbott this week too, while Christopher Cousins is back as Dr. Alan Laurent. The two actors interact on Tuesday, April 8, when Alan returns from Paris. Connor Floyd pops in as Chance Chancellor. The GC Cop airs on Monday, April 7, in scenes with Allison Lanier's Summer, and on Wednesday, April 9. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Victor Newman's revealing sit-down with Michael Baldwin furthers the game. Viewers now know that Victor planted a mole inside Jibot. Thankfully, Kyle Abbott's antennae were up, and he suspected Matheson. So Victor may have left a man inside Glissade, or tapped that employee to work undercover at the Abbott family business. Jack Abbott never has his guard down. He knows the moustache loathes him, his wife, son, and brother. Plus, Victor continues to harbor an irrational grudge against Jack, who he believes nearly killed Nikki Newman. Ashley Abbott captured a part of Victor's heart decades ago, which helps to create Jack's contempt. Having been married to Ashley twice, they also share a daughter, Abby Newman Winters. Victor is also eternally fond of Traci Abbott. She made the heartbreaking, generous decision to give her daughters, Colleen Carlton, heart to him. So it's evident that Victor has a sore spot for the males in the Abbott clan, leaving space for the late patriarch John Abbott. Diane Jenkins Abbott is a special case because of their contemptuous relationship, which included 2 trips to the altar. Of course, Victor also holds children in high accord, so his adoptive grandson, Harrison Abbott, and others are not looked down upon. Kyle didn't like talking about having betrayed his family recently, but it was relevant. Victor directed Kyle to seek specific information when conspiring to sink Abbott and the Abbott family. That experience allowed Kyle's instinct to engage when he heard Matheson ask nearly identical questions. The unexpected topic of their hallway conversation caused Kyle to suspect that this C-suite employee was not who he appeared to be. The Abbotts would have been less prepared for Victor's creeping attack if Kyle hadn't sensed something was off correctly. Relaying that information to his dad should help Jack and Abbott. Lauren Fenmore's conversation with Nikki was concerning. Lauren fears for her husband's well-being because he remains too dedicated to Victor, in her opinion. Nikki was sympathetic and later questioned Victor about his dealings with Michael. Braden's character doesn't see danger ahead, but fans likely believe Lauren's angst implies potential trouble in the months ahead. Victor's overreach may allow Jack and Kyle to outmaneuver the mustache, or at least avoid the devastation he's been predicting this year. However, Victor can exact pain even when his plans don't go as planned. The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates tease Claire Newman might unleash a fiery 5-word statement at Kyle Abbott, prompting a breakup discussion. While Kyle and Claire generally enjoy a joyful relationship, significant challenges loom ahead that could threaten their happiness. To begin with, the envious Summer Newman could become a significant obstacle, particularly since she openly acknowledges her struggle to move on in the episode airing on April 7. Viewers might witness Summer intensifying her efforts to win Kyle back from Claire in the near future. She may even start to envision a scenario where she successfully reclaims Kyle and sets their future back on course. However, Victor Newman could prove to be an even greater challenge for Claire and Kyle as they strive to establish their life together. With Victor's clear disapproval, he has emerged as a source of conflict in Kyle and Claire's relationship. Audra Charles might re-enter the fray as a potential threat if she agrees to assist Victor in bringing down Kyle. According to Y&R spoilers, Audra is contemplating sabotaging Kyle's life in return for her ideal position. While Claire and Kyle are grappling with numerous obstacles, Kyle could ultimately prove to be his own biggest adversary. His deceit may lead to the unraveling of his relationship. Having been deceived and controlled by Jordan for so long, Claire rightfully anticipates transparency from Kyle. Regrettably, Kyle is set to deepen the deception, risking the trust he and Claire have built when she eventually uncovers the truth. In the episode airing on April 7, Claire will press Kyle for details about the problem-solving meeting he had with Jack Abbott. While Claire may suspect that it involved a conspiracy against Victor, Kyle will refute this and completely exclude Jack from the corporate espionage narrative. He will even audaciously advise Claire to refrain from jumping to conclusions about Victor, despite her suspicions being accurate. Naturally, Kyle is likely to continue concealing information and schemes related to Victor as events unfold. Kyle may continue to entrench himself in this web of deceit, leading to even more complications. It's only a matter of time before he gets caught. So how will Claire respond when that moment arrives? She's likely to perceive Kyle as a deceitful manipulator, reinforcing Victor's perspective. This situation could lead Claire to utter 5 seething words to Kyle. "You lie just like Jordan." Given that Kyle was once a source of support for Claire in overcoming her trauma with Jordan, It will be particularly painful for her if she comes to view him as just another liar. Upcoming spoilers suggest that if Kyle doesn't curb his dishonesty, Claire and he might be on the brink of a breakup, so keep an eye out for any distressing developments ahead. Victor Newman, a powerful and ruthless figure in Genoa City, is haunted by the dark secret of his twin brother, Aristotle. Victor's empire is built on ambition and cunning, but the whispers surrounding Aristotle, who was rumored to be killed by Victor, continue to grow. These whispers suggest Aristotle may not be dead, but instead waiting for the right moment to return and seek revenge. Nikki, Victor's confidant, knows of the secret, and as Victor becomes increasingly paranoid, the threat of Aristotle looms large. The Newman family fears the return of Aristotle, who is said to be just as ruthless as Victor. Rumors hint that Victor once murdered his twin in a cruel act, burying the truth to protect his empire. Aristotle's return would not only seek revenge, but could dismantle everything Victor built, targeting his family and loved ones. Victor's inner circle, including Nikki, Lily, Devin, and Nate, works covertly to protect him from this threat, attempting to discredit any ties to Aristotle and contain the potential damage. Despite their efforts, the past's sins continue to haunt Victor, leaving him emotionally vulnerable. As rumors circulate, fans are captivated by the potential return of Aristotle, who embodies revenge and could destroy the Newman legacy. The question remains whether Victor can protect his empire from the ghost of his past, or if Aristotle will rise to challenge him. The saga is a chilling exploration of the cost of betrayal, the complexities of power, and the inescapable ties of family, with Aristotle's potential return hanging over the Newman family like a dark shadow.